Hey guys, it's Jasmine back on SellerAmp's YouTube channel, and as you guys can tell by today's title, I'm going to be showing you guys how to analyze suppressed listings using the SellerAmp software. There's going to be a lot of good information given out today, so make sure to watch this video to the end. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to SellerAmp's YouTube channel where they post a lot of free tutorials online for beginner Amazon sellers like you. Without further ado, let's get straight into this video. Now, before we get into how to analyze a suppressed listing, you want to make sure you know the meaning of what suppressed is. So basically, anytime a listing that does not have a buy box, as like this one right here, that just means it's a suppressed buy box. So when it comes to suppressed buy box, that basically means that no seller is really going to be promoted to win the buy box because there is no buy box. And sometimes this happens because Amazon will think that all their current sellers' prices are too high compared to their competitors. So that's why they will take the buy box away if they feel like the prices that everyone is trying to offer is basically price gouging. So whenever you are on a listing that does not have a buy box, that does not mean that you should necessarily stay away from it. You can still analyze it, but you just want to make sure to look into certain things that I'm going to be showing you guys today. So we're going to pull up our SellerAmp. We see that this product is on sale for $29.99 at Target, and it is currently going on Amazon as the cheapest FBA price, $50.73. So let's just scroll down into the Keepa. Now you can use either the Keepa software or the free Keepa graph already included into SellerAmp, but just for this example, I'm going to use the bigger Keepa software just so then you guys can see it better, but it's basically the same thing. You see where this pink line disappeared? It was here around June 11th and disappeared June 29th, and then it came back July 7th and then disappeared July 10th or July 9th, and then it came back like one day, July 11th, and then it disappeared again. So the pink line stands for the buy box, and the buy box as in like the add to cart buy now option, right? So we see that it's been suppressed for quite a while in the past 3 months. Let's just click all. It seems like ever since this listing was created, it's always kind of been suppressed. Usually you'll see like a long pink line, but this one is not really consistent. It's more of an inconsistent buy box. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna look into see what people price their products at before. Maybe we can kind of trigger the buy box to come back. Now this isn't gonna be a 100% guaranteed thing, but what I like doing when I come across suppressed listings with SellerAmp, I'll just go back and see when the buy box was there and what people had their price at. So you see this really small period of time, it was 50, but it seems like everyone is priced around the 50s, so it might not come back since it hasn't come back yet and everyone's priced at the 50s. And then we see that it was actually here a little longer in the 48s, 49s. So what you can do is see if you would want to put it a little lower where it was mainly when there was a buy box. But if you don't have to do that and you see that there is still estimated sales, as we can tell it sells 50 plus, then you don't even have to really worry about that. But if it was a slow seller, I would see what I can price it at, maybe a little lower, just to see if I can bring the buy box back. Because the main thing with buy box being suppressed is that sometimes customers will think that it's out of stock, because if you go to an out of stock Amazon listing page as a customer, it will look exactly how it looks if the buy box was suppressed. But what people do not know, what customers don't know, not every customer, but what some customers don't know is that they just have to click see all buying options and they'll be able to actually add it into their cart. It's just an extra step, and a lot of people don't really know about that because they're so used to the add to cart buy now option. So we are going to look into the data. We see that it sells 50 times a month, 180K BSR, so it is a little over the 100K BSR criteria, but it is still selling, right? So we're gonna put in our cost price since we already have that there, $29.99, and we see that we will be profitable at 26% ROI and $8 profit. That's not bad at all, since you wanna make sure that you have at least 25% ROI and at least $2 profit and above for every single unit. Then let's go here. I usually turn my break even on just to make sure that it really hasn't been around that range in the past 3 months. So the break even is 41.22. So if this product were to sell at 41.22, then I'm not going to be making any money, but I'm not going to be losing any money either. So I'm just going to scroll and see 41.22 if it's ever been around there. It went as low as 42, but that, remember, that is the buy box line. So also too, whenever I'm looking at a suppressed buy box listing and there's not really much to go based off of because there's like barely any pink line, I will go ahead and turn on the new and use that as my imaginary pink buy box line. Most of the times the purple line will be around the pink line either way. We will just pretend that the purple line is the buy box line for this scenario. And I'm just gonna wanna make sure that no one really prices it below the break even. So I see it was here, $38.23. Let me see what else, $41.99. So we just wanna make sure it's not under the break even. So it was under the break even around this time, but it did come back up. And that's when there was about 12 sellers. Yeah, 10 sellers on the listing, and there's about 9 sellers on the listing now. So if we see a raise in the offer count, then we might see a drop in the pricing that everyone puts their prices at currently. But at the moment, everyone's currently pricing it in the 50s, 51s. Now, the main thing with suppressed listings, like I said, you don't need to disregard them, but I feel like a lot of people will tank suppressed listings, especially if they start to sell slower, because a lot of people just want to get their units sold. So they'll keep putting their products cents less, $1 less, cents less, and then eventually tanking the listing overall. And it's just going to make it worse for everyone else. So I see that these 2 sellers, actually these 3 sellers are in the 50s, and then it goes from 50s to 51.90s. The thing with this one is that there's 20 in stock from this FBM seller, and they could be lying if they have 20 in stock just to kind of like scare people off of the listing. But I would probably price it at 50.73 as well, and I'll just match it. So then I'll be matching these 2 sellers right here if I were to sell this product. And I would make 26% ROI, $8 profit. It seems like the offer count was going down just a bit, and then it just recently raised just a bit as well, and then we see that it stays at the 50 estimated sold. But then this is also too, is this considered a toy product? No, it's more of a trading cards. So let me see. Yeah, it's never really been that crazy in demand for sales for this product, but you would want to make sure the main things looking at this listing and looking at suppressed listings overall, anytime you are on suppressed listings, make sure to put that purple line up. You can either use the purple or you can use the orange triangles. It's really just up to you. Sometimes I use the orange triangles just to see, sometimes I want to see which ones are closer to the pink line. So you see how here, if I turn these off, you see we're gonna see which color is closest to the pink line, and it seems like the orange is, because you see how it's like attached to it, and then with the purple it's like a little below it. So with this example, I actually would want to go based off of the orange triangles and pretend like that's my pink line. But that's just personally how I do it. I don't even know if other people in the space do it like this. I just personally look at suppressed listings like this, just to give me an idea of what people are pricing their items at, and just pretending like there is a buy box line when in reality there is not. So just don't disregard suppressed listings overall. You'll see the buy box analysis of the amount of percent that the listing has been suppressed as well. Making sure to look at the break even. Just looking at this one, like we did see that it did touch the break even in the past 3 months. So that's like one little red flag that I would take into account. We also do know that it is over 100K BSR. So you wouldn't really want to sell too much of this. I feel like I would probably do max 5 units of this product, because at the same time, there is a little bit of competition and it sells 50 times a month. It doesn't sell 1,000 times a month, 500 times a month. So I really wouldn't even want to buy that much. And then another thing that I note as well is that people aren't really craving this product, I guess you would say, because there is 3.5 stars on this product. So let's just see what people are saying about it. Okay, people are just leaving the stars but not actually having reviews, and this is a new listing as well, and we can tell it's a new listing because it says all 159 days. So this was created 159 days ago, so February 6th. So it's like a whatever listing to me. If I were to do this product, I would probably just purchase a max of 5 just so that I can make that profit, but I wouldn't want to do anything too crazy with this listing. But yeah, so hopefully this helped when it came to analyzing suppressed buy box listings. So if you ever come across suppressed buy box listings, look at this video, make sure to analyze the data that I talked about today. If you learned anything new in this video, make sure to like it up, and then also watch all of the other tutorials on SellerAmp's YouTube channel. If you want to see more tutorials from me, you can go over and head to my YouTube channel, JasHustle, where I post a lot of arbitrage content as well. If you do not have the SellerAmp software or extension, make sure to sign up for your free trial today at SellerAmp.com. If you aren't using SellerAmp for a product analyst, then you are definitely doing it wrong. But that's it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.